Oh, we're live. Hello. Hey, Az, what's going on? How are you doing? Oh, on my Lanta, did I have some issues? Coffee was flying. The whiteboard came off the wall. I've dinged my monitor. It's all happening. So forgive me for being slightly a bit late. Joni, how you doing? So let's settle in. Let's get caffeinated, or however you want to get your buzz going. And let's figure out what we're doing today. I was thinking a couple of things. We can do. I've been going down a little rabbit hole of Nostalgia Town with Jack and Daxter. So we could explore some of those character designs, or we peruse Pinterest. We do some stylized stuff. We do some realistic stuff, maybe. We do some figure stuff, whatever. So it's kind of like a mixed bag. Do we want to do a more focused, not focused, but like Jack and Daxter, exploring the character designs of those and like sort of making it our own and getting some reference and all that kind of stuff, or Pinterest style, doing some stuff on Pinterest, basically off of Pinterest for study. What are we thinking? I'm going to put a poll in thingy chat. What you want? Let's have a look. What do you want? Jack and this is only because I've just been going down like nostalgia rabbit holes with Jack and Daxter, or what do we call it? Pinterest reference. All right, Julia, how you doing? All right, no, I don't want to add an option. Bugger off. Bugger off. Bugger off. All right, Jack and Daxter or Pinterest reference. Let's go, and we'll wait for some people to roll into the stream. Oh, I'm frazzled. I'm frazzled. Literally, you can't even see it because I've got the green screen. It was all about the green screen as well, because I magnetized the green screen to my whiteboard, and basically I was trying to adjust it, and that made the whiteboard come off the wall, and it was avoided disaster, but we're going 50-50. 50-50. What are we thinking? Either or. I think it'd be fun. Yeah, because some people might not even know Jack and Daxter. That might just be a personal project of mine, I reckon. Pinterest reference. I want to go for a little bit longer. Alright, whip this back up here. Okay. 88% Pinterest reference. Alright. Let's do that. Let's end the poll. Pinterest reference it is. So you know what we've got to do. We've got to... Oh, it's only 8 votes. But, I mean, there's 8 people. probably should have waited for more people to sort of roll into the stream. Pinterest. Let's get that up. All right. Let's have a squiz, shall we? Now we got to be careful here. Let's go. Oh, hello. Let's so I've got stream figure reference. I'm thinking that could be kind of fun. Let's just get something going. Let's get that dude. What do we think? We might do some shapes. We might do some line work. We might do a little bit of everything. Let's have a look. Let's do this, dude. His expressions look fun. And let's just start with these two and see where it takes us, hey? I think that's not a bad idea. And I cannot adjust anything on OBS because OBS has frozen. Hopefully the stream's still on. All right, so this was last week's stuff. So we were playing around with realistic versus stylized, the different thought processes between those two. Betwixt realistic thinking and stylized stuff. Julia just finished a little study sketch session myself. Fantastic, Julia. All right, so is the stream still running? We've got double. Absolute scumbag. We've got double chat. Ah, Vivid, great to have you back. Hold on. Give me a sec. I just got to close OBS and open it back up again. OBS needs a good competitor. I'm sick of it. All right, I'll be back. Uno momento. All right, I'm back. It should you should be seeing me still. Let's have a look. Settings. Save output. Bada bing. Bada boom. Twitch. All right, and we're back. Fantastic. Okay. Ay. And for some reason. Okay. There we go. Yeah, OBS. I mean, yeah, it works, but it's got to be easier than this. Just the amount of crashing and all sorts of stuff that's going on. Anyway, there is actually one called Meld, which I've seen, which looks cool. Although it can't do multi aspect ratio stuff yet. But anyway. So let's get started with some figure study. So what am I seeing here? So I'm going this one. Let's actually add, if I can go back to Pinterest. So for those of you that aren't connected to the thingamajig, there's the Pinterest board for you if you want to follow along at home. Same here on Instagram and same here on Twitch. Okay. So let's have a look. New layer. Ooh, woosah. Woosah. I'm still frazzled from earlier. Let's settle down, everyone. Calm down. And let's cruise into this session. All right. Blocking out all our shapes. All right. Arm. Super simple. Leg here, leg here. Might not be bent over enough, so we can sort that out. Put the indications. I've actually really liked doing, like in my sketchbook sketches, if I'm just want to get something down, it's just doing these little eyes. I quite like them. If you do them in a certain way, you can kind of get depth still, even with those kind of eyes. So just for the first initial lay-in, I think that works. Not too bad. Cool, cool, cool. Yeah, it's Photoshop. Shah, how you doing? All right, so no warm up. We're just going straight into it. No time limit either. Let's just give ourselves some room to explore, shall we? All right. So the feet here. Let's move him out the way. Let's get him. Go about here. All right, some indication of the hand there, which can be pretty tricky, but we will figure it out. Let's see if we can look at this as the whole. Here, leg down, boom, boom, boom. Now, what I'm thinking about with these legs is what he's sitting on in perspective, right? Let me just turn my music down. Spotify. Okay. So we've got our base. So I'm thinking about the angle that I'm looking at him. We're kind of looking slightly on top, and that's going to be more apparent with how we, at least in this pose, how we angle or position the feet. All right, because if we're looking, I was actually doing some sketching on this last night. So if we got feet here, let's say, and the horizon line we're looking at, it's like a very long lens, I guess you could say. We might have the feet here, right? So the front of the shoe here, right? Just as a quick indication of the feet. Notice here, they're both on the same plane, right? We're either lying down on the ground, looking at the feet, right? And that's the horizon line, or we're so far away where there's very little, what's the word? Like distortion with the perspective. So we could do this, or we can sort of angle it down. So imagine these feet are on like a plane. So this is a good little practice thing you can do. All right, even thinking about where the feet are going to be, like the bottoms of the feet, before you add any details, you'll be seeing more of the top of the shoe. Here, it's sketchy, but it's a good little exercise to start thinking about really having control of when and where you're doing things. Right, so we should be able to see the tops more so if we then simplify it down into just your simple cylindery kind of things. Right, we'll see more of the tops, and then if we were looking down even more, then that plane, excuse me, and that plane is going to be, we're going to be looking all the way down on it, and then we might even just see simplified down into cylinders, let's say, seeing right on top of those feet. Right, even more. And you could just keep going and like moving the camera around and blah blah blah. This is a good little thing. It's kind of what's the word? It's not like, you've got to understand shape before you can sort of more successfully understand why you would be doing something like this, if that makes sense. Like we might even need to understand that we're looking all the way on top. Yeah. No, wrong. Is that, yeah. Right, shoe, boom, boom, boom. The tongue of the shoe. Right, and then this is going to be, that's a fucking terrible shoe. See, this is why it's tricky, because we don't often force ourselves to think about, okay, what are we actually looking at different angles. At least for me, I find myself, I've got my angles that I hit, right? I've got my poses that I'm good at drawing. I've got like the go-tos, basically, the MVPs of what I'll open a sketchbook and do, right? But forcing yourself to think about this kind of stuff is just going to take you to that next level. And that's what I'm hoping it's going to do for me as well. Here, this might actually be down a smidge. Right, so we're looking more on top. Now I've gone off on a bloody tangent and a half with this one, but in context, I guess, yeah, we're talking about the feet here. So this is what I'm thinking about. This, even the connection points between the heels is like a good little indicator of what we can do to make it feel more realistic, I guess, or sit in the 3D space. Sketchy, what's going on? Nishella, potentially. How you doing? Sugar Beats, what's going on? Been drawing cartoons lately, but also getting out of your comfort zone. Fantastic. That's all right. Joshua, what's going on? The avoidance is strong with oil painting. I can empathize with that. There is a lot of setup. All right, so you kind of hopefully get the idea of just like our horizon line going down here, and then we sort of like start looking more on top. All right, we're not here just to draw some not very nice looking shoes. Let's continue here. All right, even have the foot angled away even more. Now this is one thing as well that you can kind of see the angle. I don't even know what is this little dippy bit of a shoe. Who knows? I don't know. But here, all these little indications are telling us the angle of stuff, right? That line of the shoe there, the line of the shoe here, right? This pattern of the laces and how you only see a little bit of these laces comparatively. All of those little things we can use to our advantage to make some cool stuff in our own style, in our own little worlds. The dippy bit, that's right. Appreciate it, Sugar Beats. I've been trying to put some of your advice to practice for when I asked about making paintings without line art. Nice. Also, can you post more traditional on your Insta? I feel like it's fun to see all your work. I haven't been posting bugger all on my Insta. So yeah, I will. Wanderson, thank you very much. True Codex, interesting. Yeah. So that's what I'm thinking about, using all of these little things either via the reference or via ourselves to indicate to the user what's going on. The user. I've been fucking in coding land for too long. The viewer. I mean the user, the viewer, either or. Same. Let's have a look. Sorry, I just get Instagram up. I hope this isn't an off-topic question, but how do you get more people to see like your art on social media? That's a very broad question. I guess the first question should be the miraculous Maggie. Why do you want that? What's the point? Do you want to sell your art? Do you want to attract companies to see your work? Do you want to, you know, like each reason for why you're putting stuff out there is going to determine the strategy, if that makes any sense at all. Cool. All right, so we've got a nice little sketch going here. A nice little did it. Joshua, hey Ben, whenever you draw people in perspective view, do you imagine elements like vanishing points and horizon lines, or is it just all natural feel for you at this point? I hesitate to say natural feel. What I would say is each kind of what I'm talking about here with the feet. Each thing that I'm drawing is going to convey something, right? If I draw, like for the laces, for example, we can get nitty gritty, right? For the laces, if I'm seeing the laces like this, right? Let's just do them simply like that. I am telling the viewer that I can see on top of that foot, right? That then gives me and the viewer, as I'm building this drawing up, excuse me, oh, coffee, indigestion. It tells the viewer that, okay, if the foot here I can see on top, well then naturally I might be seeing a little bit of the top of this leg, potentially, right? And then you could sort of build it up like that, or you could start off understanding that, okay, the horizon line might be all the way up here and I'm going to be able to see on top of most things. We're looking on top of most things, and you can kind of see it here. You can see on top of the bin here. You can see on top of the bench. So if you can see on top of the bench, realistically, you're going to be able to see on top in this guy's lap. You know what I mean? We're going to be seeing on top of the shoulders. Okay? Hopefully that makes sense. So I'm not drawing all this out and thinking about all these vanishing points, because realistically this is such a long lens that all the vanishing points would like come out to all the way out here. Right? I'm trying to, at the base level with the whole thing, am I looking on top, straight on, or underneath at the thing? That's the first thing I'm asking myself. Ben, what would you say to younger you right now? Sugar Beach, you get one question every half hour. If we keep it up like this. What would you say to your younger self right now? About what? I'm like, hey man, what's up? Ben, what's your goal with your art lately? What's the goal with my art? I don't know, if I'm honest. I don't know. If you think of coding as the art, then getting this course platform off the ground. That's been really my whole goal. So yeah, like in all honesty, art-wise, like just pure, just drawing and painting, and that has been put on a lot of the back burner except for these streams, only because the priority at the moment is to get that course platform up and running. I've been working on this last week the share functionality, so I'll be able to like share a link either to the whole course, specific lessons, allow certain people to comment, give feedback, others to not. Some people will be able to view draft lessons, so you can get feedback from your community before you put it out to the larger public. You can then set how many people you want for like that invitation link to redeem. It's a bloody bird's nest of logic with figuring that stuff out, but we're almost there with it. That's what I've been knocking out this past week, because the goal is I want to get more people involved in the creation process of what I'm putting out, and you can't currently do that with any other course thingy. So I could give you guys like early access to, I'd almost want to do it on stream as well in a way. So like, all right, after stream, let me know what you think, give your feedback, thoughts, and blah, 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 blah. And then I can actually make the most useful shit that I possibly can, instead of what I think is useful. Sugar Beats, I want you and Andrew Kadima to collab. That'd be sick. I've been inspired a lot by Andrew. Zane, what's going on? Welcome back. I've got some plans for that sugar beets coming up. Firm design. The streams are in Australian Central Daylight Time, 10:45 a.m. Or, if you prefer, PST or PDT currently, it is 4:30 p.m., I believe. All right, so I've got a nice little start. I'm just trying to keep myself centered for you lovely people on Instagram, so I'm not just like jumping all over the place. That'll be a little bit better, I hope. All right, knockback time. Knockabout. Oh, my fountain pen should be arriving today or tomorrow, depending. So I'm gonna have some fun doing that. I feel like it would be fun. Oh yes, sorry. I read that. How often do you sculpt, Ben? Joshua? Not often enough. I was doing it every day there for a while. But I'm thinking about doing some more. I mean, I'm thinking about doing a whole lot of stuff. But I would like to start on like a small scale. Actually, there was this really, really, really cool. Let's see if I can find it. Instagram. Where are my saves? Was it here? Only you can see what you saved. Unless I go on stream, then everyone can see it. Nah. Damn. Oh no, it was YouTube. It was YouTube. It was YouTube. I'm going to show you guys some sculpting inspiration that I found out. Fuck, where is it? It would have been saved to watch later? There needs to be a better way to save stuff, because there's just so much content out there now, and it's like so fleeting. That is very, very frustrating. Switch account. I can't remember the guy's name, and that's the issue, right? Because here we go. Feast your eyes on this little ditty. Look at that. Beautiful. No, trust me. Like you get to this level. Absolutely beautiful. So this is what I might be doing on a smaller scale. You know, doing some more of this stuff. So this is Bryce Savina. Amazing artist, right? And then you see what you can get to just with your super sculpty. I think it's super sculpty. Like the level of detail, and it's quite on a small scale, so it's kind of doable. It's not like a whole bunch of clay that you gotta buy. Like I want to do this on like a stylized level, doing characters, like studying them painting wise. Yeah, go check this guy out. It's freaking awesome. It was insightful how you made realistic and stylized versions of the same head. Oh, awesome, Zane. Yeah, I want to do more of that. Like I don't see too much of that stuff out there. yeah, it's pretty unreal, that detail. And there's something about like the just like all the tools that you can buy as well. Like the physical stuff is so cool. I really, and you know what? There's a bit of a my hunch, my prediction is that there's going to be a bit of a renaissance of some of the more traditional stuff, which is going to be very cool. Even just looking at the views on some of this stuff on YouTube. It's like the Woody from Toy Story scene. I know exactly what you're talking about, with the old dude with the cotton, the Q-tip on the eyes. That's what I felt like when I was making Plain Jane. Exuberant Exile sculpting takes so much patience. Honestly, it does. It really does. But the learning that you can get from your 2D stuff, if you were to pick up sculpting and do it consistently, man. Like I learnt more probably from, I don't know, maybe it's not, I don't know how you would quantify this, but I feel like I learnt more from that time of sculpting about form and light and shadow and values than I had done previously in that same amount of time, if that makes sense. Yeah, I want to do all the things, and that's the issue, right? I can't do them all at the same time, but I can do them in sprints or in certain periods of time. Otherwise, I just half-ass it, you know, just from an energy standpoint. So here I'm trying to get a little bit of likeness. Not an amazing amount of likeness, but enough to sort of get the idea across. There. Now we've got the fingers are bending backwards in space, right? So think about them as like a piece of folded paper even, right? Just here, 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 boom, boom, right? And that can give you the basis to then build on top of that. Oh, Paul, what's going on? Exuberant. I've done digital sculpting for a while, which isn't the same, but I think that, along with drawing, fundamentally helped me sculpt better anatomy. 1000%. 1000%. Thank you, Sugar Beats. So I want to figure out like the arc of the fingers and all that fun stuff. Right, looks like a mess, and it will do. That's a guarantee. But even with this stylized stuff, we're thinking about 3D forms here. The cylinders of the fingers, you know? And one thing that you can get stuck with quite easily is if we start to do this like stylized way of doing things, right? Then you look at the reference and you say, okay, so now we zoom right in, and then, okay, so this has to have like a triangle as like negative space here, and then and then you could easily start to like not take into account the shape language that you've done. Like when you're swapping between the reference, realism, stylized, then all of a sudden this finger becomes really skinny because I'm following the correct thing that the reference is showing me, right? And then your hand is like, what the fuck? What is that? So we've really got to, at a certain point, throw away the reference and understand that, okay, the thickness of the fingers are about that. So then we need to take that into account. Bend this down potentially. Way too long here. Right. I mean, even that looks a bit sausagey. But you get what I'm saying, hopefully. Is that this... here, here, here. So that if you want to reverse engineer or just try and figure out why the hand isn't looking right, you can do something like this. Find the knuckles. Okay, because if you look at your hands, the knuckles are going to be staggered in a certain way. So I might try and find where these knuckles will be first. All right, then kind of track where the second part of the finger is going to be. Swear jar 1. Oh, I didn't even realize. Whoops. I struggle with throwing away the reference because my mind is so literal. Fortunately, I'm catching myself more and more. That's the first part of it, recognizing that. Because if you don't recognize that that's happening, then there's nothing to fix. You know what I mean? Just don't click on the AI photos and they won't be recommended. Yeah, that's a lot of it. You kind of got to like manipulate the algorithm in the way that you want. Like I'm very cautious of how long I stay on a reel or something. Like if I don't want to see stuff like that, then I'll just quick like, nah, get out of here. Be gone. Knuckles are bloody tricky, I tell you what. So if we were to think about this hand in its kind of blueprint way, all right, ba-boom, ba-boom, something like this, like this, like this, and like that-ish. Right. So we've got knuckle, 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 knuckle. Knuckle, 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 knuckle. That's what I'm focusing on, this kind of arc between them. You know what I'm saying. Right. Finally caught one of these streams live. Bloody first timer. Great to have you, Foolish. Welcome. I find knuckles tricky because they are nearly always foreshortened to some degree. That's exactly right. So this is why we've got to understand what's happening. And when, like, if you look at your hand like that, it's very seldom flat. That looks very unnatural, right? That is more so of like a resting hand. It's kind of got like an arc between the fingers. And even more so when you sort of do anything sort of grabbing, right? So it's not going to be like a flat piece of paper necessarily that's just kind of like folded. Like all the fingers are just like folded. You can't even do that, right? So they're going to kind of like tuck into one another, particularly like the little finger. It's going to like tuck in a way. So this is what's happening here. And if we think about even the center line of the fingers, right? And that arc that I'm talking about. Where are we going to put those knuckles? So there's a knuckle here and a knuckle here. All right. Let's fix up this nail. Okay, center line there. Center line here. Now it's going to kind of wrap around. So this might be more like that, and then we see even less. And this is something that I would spend like ages on. Like if this wasn't stream, I would really like knuckle down, pun fully intended. I would like really focus on what's happening with these fingers, you know. We might completely lose that that pinky behind because it's just so foreshortened, you know. But for a sketch, not terrible. So then we can kind of move on to the rest of everything else. Might even exaggerate this a little bit more. From a sculpting perspective, what I'd really love to do is Perry the Platypus Original Official. How you doing? What a mouthful. What I'd really love to do is sculpt a set of Blink-182. So I'd have like Travis, Mark, and don't tell me I'm not looking at chat. Travis, Mark, and it'll come to me. But yeah, I'd love to do like a set of them like on stage. That'd be sick. And then do like a full YouTube video about it. Like the discovery phase, the sketches, the 2D stuff. Then figuring out the printing of it, the painting of it. That would be sick. I would love that. Okay, so now even with the arms, we've got to figure out, not like even with the like with everything, right? It's we've got to think of them in relation to one another, right? This is going back in space. This is kind of because technically, if we're looking at this character, right, and we imagined him sitting in a box, right, on like a smaller scale. Let's say he's sitting like within this box. All right, you can see the top of this box. Okay, so we know that we're looking down. That's not necessarily true for all the features, right? We might be looking down in general, like he's sitting on the ground, on the chair, right? So we've got his feet. Okay, but his head might be tilted up. So then we're not seeing the top of the head. So it's not like a rule of like, okay, if you're looking down, like I think that could be like quite misleading potentially. If it's like, all right, I'm looking down, and then your brain's like, okay, I've got to see on top of the head, I've got to see on top of the shoulders, I've got to see on top of everything. What if his hand is like up here, and he's just like, for whatever reason, you know, like his hand's like there. You see in the top of the palm, you know? So it's this is why I hesitate to have like any rules with everything, because it's all dependent on a lot of stuff. If that makes sense at all, who knows? Ashlyn, what's going on? Zane, I'm glad. Sometimes I don't always know if I'm just chatting shit and only I understand what I'm talking about, or what. Now these little indicators here are nice. I enjoy doing these because they're like ultra small scale T-lines that this reference is showing us, but it's just showing that the arm is in front of here, like the lats, or like whatever, like this, even this just is skin fold. I don't think the lats would probably be more that'd be more like down here. But anyway, even just this skin fold, just that little like of realism, which I love. Oh, nice one, actually. Super, what's going on? Vivid. Oh, what a compliment. Thank you so much. Man, if I could just hit a button and download all of your skills into my brain, then I think there's something to be said. If that was true, right? If you could do that, I personally think 2/3 of the fun of getting better at something is the process of getting better at it. Those exploratory, like for lack of a better word, like the aha moments, the time that you finally understand that, oh, there's depth on the face, you know, or that like the profile view of a head, right, is just the center line of the head. Like that's what it is. these little like discoveries. This is what it's all about. This is the fun of it. It's like, it sounds so cliche, but it's like true. It's not like the end result. You got to enjoy the journey, man. Yeah, that's it. But like, yeah, I like surprising myself with how capable I am. Oh, same. And each of these things are a challenge, right? Figuring out hands, figuring out like whatever it is. And as you build momentum on figuring stuff out, it makes you more ambitious because you've seen problems before in the past. Like the best motivator for me, if I'm coming up against like a hard problem, like whether it be drawing or coding or like whatever, I've solved problems in the past and recalling those times and being like, okay, I've been here before. There's no point getting frustrated. There's no point stressing yourself out over it. You've been here before, you know? And as you move on and on and on, you can challenge yourself a little bit more, knowing that in the past, you've got all the evidence in the world that you've solved problems before. So there's no reason why you should be thinking you can't solve this next one, right? That's the fun of it. That's why I love this. I love this stuff. Took some time this week to refocus on what I need to do. Guess we'll see if it helps. Super. Bloody good idea, my friend. I've had to do that a few times recently. Jacqueline, welcome. Thanks for popping in. What do you use code for? So for me, personally, I'm building alongside my good friend Francis. We're building a course platform that displays the content exactly how I would want to display my stuff, and has a Anyway, without going into that, and I have a background in software development before doing all this, or putting myself out there with the drawing stuff. Fat Cappy. The sound is too low. Is that correct, chat, or is that just Felipe? Fat Cappy was not ready for the feels. I want to see how far I can take this drawing thing, to be honest. I feel like nothing I've seen is out of reach for me, but I want to know just how far I can push the limits, assuming there are any, and there aren't any. That's the thing. And they're like, and what that looks like, pushing the limits, is going to be different for everyone, which is the most fun thing ever, because then you're just competing against yourself. You know, like, it's the time, mind you, this isn't healthy, but it's the times where you stay up until 3 a.m. Is it? The sound is way too low. What the the sound is good for me. It's a little quiet. I've noticed I have to turn mine up when I switch to your stream. How annoying. Hold on. Uno momento. Por favor. Test, test, test. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Test, test. How's that? Is that any better at all? Thank you, Dwayne. Appreciate ya. The sound is way too low. But then the sound is good for some people. Any better? That's great. Better. Boom. Love it. Alfie, what's going on? Yeah, I always err on the side of caution. Better volume, fantastic. Yeah, I think I was doing some recording last week, and I needed to knock it down a bit. Too loud now. You mess with me, super? Glad to hear it, Felipe. All right. And we're back at it. Top bloke here. Love it. Thank you, Sketchy. Beautiful. Oh, that's it. Yeah, right. That's the issue now. You can hear it. I can hear a fan or something in the background now. Yeah, that's you get the trade-offs. I've got to keep myself cool. You either hear me and you hear the fan. Hold on, let me turn the fan. All right, if I start sweating, it's your fault. I can hear, oh Christ, I can hear breathing behind you. Okay, let's get another. Oh my god. Oof, and we're back. Let's get a larger look at the pose. Yeah, it's summertime for, yeah, that's right. That is correct. Okay, let's get simplified. What are they called? Yeah. I'm getting concerned about how every time I go on stream, all my words just escape me. It's like this shit, the creases, the folds, all that sort of stuff, yeah. Well, Rip Ben, you should. Nah, used to it. We're used to it. We had a couple of 40 plus degree days. That's Celsius. Not fun. It doesn't usually get that hot down here. Foliage, yeah, it's pretty nuts. Pretty nutty. And I've never seen snow. So I would love to head to the snow. Maybe. No, I don't think so. In New York, around the time that I might visit, that I would be able to see snow. But that would be cool if I could. And I'd be the only like weird guy out in the street going like, dude, it's fucking snow. I'll trade you, take ours someday. We had a lot of snow for us recently. Yeah, that's cool. That's very cool. Literally. Okay. Like even the socks here, we can make them feel like they've got a bit of depth to them, or at least going in the right direction perspective wise. Can you guys see, are you shitting me? I've done a lot more drawing than what I see on OBS. See, this is what I'm talking about. OBS needs a competitor. Because this is crap. Absolute garbage. Had absolutely nothing but issues with this bloody piece of software. Like, I can't even right click on this thing. Hold on. Oh, I swear to God. This is what I'm dealing with, right? Oh, you can't even see it. I'm trying to show you, and I can't even show you. Because nothing's happened on the screen. Okay, so I can't right click, and nothing's working. Absolutely nothing's working in OBS. None of the menus, none of the nothing. Garbage piece of software. Hold on. I'm going to have to leave in your time of crisis. No worries, Opal. Appreciate you. I'll pop in a sec. Give me 2 seconds. I'll be back. Force quit. You scumbag. Hello? We should be back. Where am I? See, this is what I'm talking about. I'm now upside down. Why? Can someone please tell me? Why on earth am I upside down now? I have no idea. How? Someone help. The blood's going to my head. I'm feeling a bit dizzy. Oh, this is fucking ridiculous. Why? It's just the most buggy piece of shit software. I mean, it's great. It's open source. It's awesome. Gotta love it. But also, let's flip, I guess, rotate 180. But now that doesn't want to work. Ugh. What a surprise. It doesn't want to do it. Ay. And here we go. And we're back. But now I think we're flipped. Transform, flip me. What a nightmare. What an actual nightmare. But if this is the worst thing that's happening to me right now, that's what I'm doing pretty good. But still. OBS needs a real competitor, and I think I've seen one in Meld. Check it out if you're looking to stream and stuff. Meld. This is how us Americans see streams. It's not a being able to stream without technical difficulties. You're right. 1000%. It's weird. I've never had these problems with it, but yeah, no, I'm going to say it's user error. Okay, just for like the benefit of the doubt. I don't want to shit on OBS necessarily, because it annoys me when people blame stuff on the software when it's them. So I'm going to default to say it was my fault. Why it was my fault? I couldn't tell you. Not a clue. But here we are. And we're back. Okay, so we've done a little bit more on the leg. And I was talking about the socks. And nothing was showing up. But I you know what it probably is? Too much caffeine. Yeah, it could be. You're not wrong. At least your drawing is not upside down. Yeah, I know, but like it would make sense if everything was upside down. Then it's like, okay, something just like got mixed up. But it's like, why is just that one source upside down? Anyway, it is what it is. It's done. It's happened. We're back. We're whipping down shapes. We're understanding the perspective. We're inventing shapes. We're having a good time. Aren't we? I hope we are. I'm not at the moment. I reckon, you know what it is? I reckon it's like a lot of the plugins that I have to use to get the multi-stream going. That's probably because it's not just like vanilla OBS or whatever. Okay. This almost looks like a young Guns N' Roses dude. Axel. We missed most of the torso and the lower half. You're kidding. Scumbag. That's alright. It's really not, you didn't miss much. Katie, what's going on? Hope you've been well, my friend. What's the latest? All right, let's see if we can attempt to get this tricky hand gesture. So we got to understand and simplify. Story of my life. Understand and simplify. Bowl. I don't know why he's got a bowl. Couldn't tell you. Right, so in the reference you can see there's all these little like folds and everything, so you can go like here. I'm trying to simplify those as best I can, so we can even just come through here. Something like that. And sometimes with hands in particular, close up they look like a jumbled mess. But if you zoom out and they kind of read correctly, then you just know that it's kind of just some tweaking with the details, if you've got the overall shape feeling correct. He's reminiscing about Paradise City. Very good. Very good, Ashlyn. Or he's dreaming about Paradise City before he's written it. I was obsessed with Guns N' Roses in my high school days. "12 Slow M. Hello, I have a question. Go for it. You drawing on an iPad or no, or only Wacom plus Photoshop?" Only Wacom plus Photoshop. I do draw on an iPad every now and then, but currently just on a Wacom. Super. I've also been listening to a lot of like indie dev podcasts and stuff. Fascinating shit. I can't even remember the ones that I was listening to. It's like a YouTuber dude. It makes me want to do game dev. For your game, Super, as if you're still here, are you looking to get like a publisher or just sort of self-publish? Is that still classified as indie? If you have a publisher? I have no idea. Vishal, no clue. So it's feet looking a little stumpy. I mean, I don't hate it. It's fine for now. Alright, so let's see if we can just figure out what he's sitting on. At the moment, self-publishing seems to be the best option, but I'm sure that could change once I get closer to release. Interesting. Cool. So you doing, are you going to be launching like a demo to begin with? Strategy seems to be self-published to Steam, then get a publisher for consoles. Cool. Interesting. Yeah, see, I got no clue about that side of stuff, but yes, it's fascinating. Because I was watching Super Meat Boy, Evan. I think it was Evan. Listening to a podcast with him, and then I was listening to bald dude, very opinionated, braid. Oh, I can't think of it. You know who I'm talking about. The demo is what I'm working on right now. I'm hoping to have something before the end of the year so I can do a Kickstarter or GoFundMe. I also have a Patreon, but that is growing very slowly. Awesome. I definitely need something to show before I ask for support. Yeah, 1,000%. 1,000%. Yeah. Joe Rogan. No. This dude's like he's like an OG in the indie dev space. Oh, I can't think of his name. He made Braid, which is like an indie game. It's one of those things where I can feel it in my bones. I'm close, but I've been feeling that for quite a while too. Yeah, it's the same with software development. Or it's the same thing, right? Software development, more or less. Yeah, the last 10% takes 90% of the time, or whatever it is. Because I'm listening to these like podcasts, and I'm like, yeah, that's just the same thing. There's like scope creep, There's like, especially if you're building your own stuff, it's like, oh, it needs this. Oh, it needs that. Oh, what if, oh, now I've built this thing. Oh, it doesn't feel quite right. Let's rebuild the whole thing because it's not working correctly. Excuse me. Or it doesn't feel right. Like, yeah. It gets to the point where you need to polish and where you ought to stop. Yeah. How do you know when to do either of those things? That's the question, right? Because I mean, we're like with our stuff, with Drea, there's like collaboration tools that we want to build in, so it's not just like you create the course and then it's like, okay, that's that. We want our like, really we want users that like really care about what they're putting out, and then having the ability to have like real-time collaboration, so you can like multiplayer on a course with like your team or with a couple of you or however many people, right? Building that in, we could do that with the first release. But it's like, do we? It'll be so cool if we could do that. But that's going to add like another couple of weeks of work. Is it worth it? Who knows? Like, no clue. JR, what's going on? Basically noodling, but for game dev, 1000%. Northern Leon, Mex? No. Wait, who are you? I don't know what Northern Leon is. My apologies. I'm not sure what you're referencing. Hey, Zeus Corzo, thank you very much. Sorry, just chin butted the mic. Yeah, I'm already thinking about refactoring my code or just restart it. Oh my God, I was talking to this to Francis the other day. There's this feeling of refactoring code that it's like cleaning your room. It's like so satisfying. It's like better than a holiday because there are upsides to refactoring because it makes it a lot easier to work on. And like you tell yourself, it's like, oh yeah, let's make this a lot cleaner so that it's just like, and then like a day's gone and you've cleaned up this little bit that like, was that worth doing? Was it not? And then in the process of going to refactor some stuff, you find another thing that you're like, oh, I should really fix that before I do this other thing. Let's go and fix that up. Like, it's just a never ending cycle. I love it though. But yeah, there it is that. But it is noodling. It's noodling with code. It's noodling with game dev. It's noodling with. If you learn anything from my content, noodling is that noodles are unhealthy for you in all aspects. All right, we've got something here. His legs are looking a little short, I'm feeling. Kind of. We could even do a little bit of this. You know, just sort of like... I think that could make a little bit more sense. Although it doesn't fit the reference exactly. It's like his knees are a little bit longer, or his legs are a little bit longer, so they've got to kick back a little bit more to accommodate the space that it takes from the knee to the foot to get to the ground. This is pretty confusing in here. Let's clean this up. Let's refactor the knee. Yeah, ANG. Yeah, I agree with you. They do look a little bit too short. But he could be a short dude. You never know. But yeah, this distance here from here is looking a little bit too short. I do agree. Jonathan Blow. That's the one. Yeah. So I was listening to the Super Meat Boy dude, Evan, in stark contrast to Jonathan Blow when it comes to like the state of the indie game industry and that kind of stuff. Jonathan was very I don't know, there's like a weird transition period kind of thing, and like the money's not there and blah blah blah. But then like Evan was like, no, there's like billions of dollars going into the indie game industry, and it's like, it's just interesting listening to like two sides of the coin. But yeah, A and G, agree with you. Let's lengthen this here. Bada bing. Something about that. Feels a lot better, I think. Because his arms are kind of lanky. So you probably wouldn't have... See, that's also an indicator of why you thought it looked off and why I agree with you. Because the arms are pretty long. Right? Typically, the legs are going to be... Because this is typically your height. I don't know if you knew that. But from there to there, at the tips of your fingers, is generally your height. From here to here, I think is like the size of your foot. And like there's all these measurements that like marry up. Man, he's getting knee surgery. Good for him. Good for him. The drawing has some cartoon Jason Mewes. Yeah, it does. Speaking of... Oh, I got the freaking green screen. But yeah, no, I agree. I agree. I've got a J figurine behind me that I bought years ago. Snoosh to the beach. Oh, shit. Yeah, I love a good bit of Kevin Smith. I was listening to, what's that the podcast? Tell 'em Steve Dave. I was binging the shit out of that for ages. I gotta get back onto that, because there's a whole falling out, wasn't there, with the Secret Stash and those. I don't know if you guys know what I'm talking about. It's been a while since I listened to his podcast. Yeah, I know. Me too. Not like, yeah, I know that it's been a long time for you, but no, yeah. I remember when it was just Smodcast back in like 2007, 2008. Yeah. Yeah, I never listened to his podcast, the Kevin Smith one. I started, like, I think it was like earlier last year, listened to Tell 'em Steve Dave, which was with Walt, and the other guys that worked in the stash, with like Ming and the big bearded dude and the guy that was in Impractical Jokers, whatever his name is, can't remember. Walt Flanagan, that's the one. I was going to say Walt White, but that was wrong. Yeah, it's a good, I don't know. It's it's a good little podcast. I don't know. I enjoy it. I quite enjoy it. What do you think of Sam Does Arts? I like him. Seems cool. Knife, what's going on? You have to listen to the creator of Balatro. He's been in a lot of interviews lately and is so good hearing him talk about how he got through. Fascinating. I'll have to check it out. Lisa, I have a question. You are really good at drawing forms. Thank you. And it's really difficult for me. My brain thinks it 2D shapes. Do you have any suggestions on how to study it or any book that helps? Okay. So this is just one thing. It's a training your brain kind of thing. Your hand drawing skills are amazing. Thank you so much, Brittany, B-R-T-N-Y. Brittany, I'm going to say for short. Appreciate you. Thanks for popping in. This is just something that you've got to train your 2D brain to start thinking in 3D, right? And then eventually you can start flipping back and forth between the two, right? So, for example, we can look at this head. All right, we're going in teacher mode right now. You got me in teacher. Lisa, congratulations. Not everyone can do it. So here we've got, say, the 2D shape of the head. Taking it step by step, you can then add the 2D shape of the ear. Now, in reality, in isolation, all of these shapes could be considered 2D. Right? This eye, if you just look at this shape here, okay, and you zoom right in, this is just a 2D shape. Okay? So is this line. Okay, so is this here, so is that there. But in context, with this other 2D shape, and this other 2D shape, and this other one, and this other one, and blah, 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 etc., it then gives the illusion of 3D. Right? All of this is just an illusion. All right, and I think the sooner that you start realizing that, the better. So that it sort of takes the pressure off of like understanding everything in 3 dimensions and blah, 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 blah. It's a lot of it is understanding how to convey or how to manipulate the 2D shapes that you already know how to draw and arrange them in a certain way to give the illusion of 3D shapes. All right. So for example, we've got 2 2D shapes here, but you can see somehow that this ear, right, is in front of the head. How? By little things like T lines. Okay, again, 2D shapes, a couple of lines. This is in front of that, right? Same here. This is in front of this. And then you can start to think about things like center lines. You've probably seen this all before, like center lines of shapes. Now I'm doing a head as an example, but you can do the same thing with cylinders. If you don't know what to draw in your sketchbook, if you're struggling, get really bloody good at whipping out these shapes anytime that you want. Okay? How do you do that? You've got rectangle things lying around your house, guaranteed, potentially even on your desk right now. Observe them, right? Where are the bottom lines on that thing? What about the side lines? How do they work? How far out in do they go? You know what I mean? What about this here? And what about the top lines? Like, how do these go? You know, then you can start to slowly go into things like perspective and lenses, right? Because I think our eyes, from what I understand, our eyes see in closer to 50mm lenses, I think. Potentially. I don't know. Something like that. Double check that. So it's not super, like if we were to do the same cube, right? And we were like looking straight ahead, we don't see everything in like fisheye, right? But everything's not flat. It's kind of like around the sort of 50mm lens. Then you can start to get into lenses and manipulating things like, okay, this could then become like a skyscraper kind of thing, and just learn how to manipulate these shapes. But from going from 2D to 3D, I would start honestly with these. It sounds boring. Start with these simple shapes. Just get used to drawing simple shapes. The coffee mug, the vitamin thing on your table, like whatever, the tape, anything, and get really bloody good at it. And get it good to a point where if you need to draw something like a nose, you can use what you've already learnt with, say, understanding how to draw even a cube, right? Understanding how to draw the cube. Okay, well, the nose here could almost be a corner of that cube, right? As like a triangle. So then I can sort of cut that down into like a nose sort of shape, and okay, then I could build on top of that, right? So a lot of this is me just recycling my knowledge on how to draw simple 2D shapes and fitting them into these more stylized shapes, or just different contexts than just a standalone cylinder or cube. Hopefully that makes sense. I don't want this to go on forever because it's like a whole thing, but yeah. Oh, Shane, what's going on, man? Long time no see. Doing well. How you doing? How much time do you practice a day? Not enough as of late. This is really my only time to draw. So thank you for popping in and letting me do it in front of all you guys. I just did lots of contour line practice and kind of felt it out for feeling 3D shapes. I do that as well. Yeah, contours are great, right? Wrap around the arm. Okay, if I do this, if I go the other way, it doesn't quite, your brain's kind of like, what's happening there? Like, at least my brain's like, hold on. Excuse me, what? So it's like, okay, that feels better. All right. It's good practice. It's not sexy. It's not something that you can whip on Instagram and be like, hey, check this out. It's the grinding behind the scenes to then give you the superpowers to do whatever you want, whenever you want. Ben, just out of curiosity, if I wanted to reach out, what would be the best way? I would say email, which you should be able to find. b.eblendesign@gmail. Because, yeah, if you try and contact, like, as of late, I've just been, like, posting and ghosting. So if you've messaged me on Instagram or anywhere else, it's kind of like, yeah, I will miss it, or I'll get back to you quite not in a timely fashion. I learned that context is what makes things look 3D while in figure drawing, less than overlap and contour lines. True. What's your method for manipulating 3D shapes and rotating them while keeping proportions of the shape consistent? There's no like method necessarily. Like it's just getting used to what things look like, and that's why I like starting simple. makes sense. Because if you can't do these simple things, I'm not saying that you can't do the more detailed things, but it just makes it 1,000 times trickier. If you can't rotate this cylinder at will in any direction that you want, you're going to have a hell of a time trying to do the same with the head. Because I still have a hell of a time with the head if I'm doing it in like weird angles, right? So start small, understand what it looks like when you only see a tiny sliver of that bottom of the cylinder. Why is that? You know, start asking yourself those questions. Why? Get really, really curious. And then your brain's going to start saying, okay, that's something I've got to focus on. That's a problem I've got to solve. And once you solved it, because you asked the question beforehand, I think this is like a legit thing for like learning things. It's like there's a word for it. I can't remember. It's like a method of study, but it's, you ask yourself questions. And if you can't answer a certain question, then your brain's like, all right, we need to figure this out. And then it sort of sticks more. Instead of someone telling you like a trick or a method to say, oh, draw a head like this by drawing this triangle here and then a circle. There's no context there. It's just like, okay, cool. Right? But if you understand why stuff's happening and why a head looks like it does in a certain way, it's a million times better for sort of long-term understanding of stuff. Hopefully that makes sense. My TED Talk is over. Thank you very much. Doing good, my friend. I'm still sad I missed you at Lab. I know, dude. My plan is to come back this year. So hopefully you can pop past. It'll be good. No worries, Lisa. When you do contours the other way, it's flip normals. Yeah, it was on Discord. I figured it was because you'd be... you've reached out, have you? Yeah, shit. Yeah, if you want... Yeah, email's the way. Ryan Wu, consistency in character design is hard for me. Me too. It's probably one of the harder things to do, definitely. Mandel, great to have you. Shane, I'll try and make it. Awesome, man. No, it'd be good to catch up. Definitely. I've been seeing you been cracking out the streams as well. How have they been doing? So let's imagine that this bench has an end to it. This is what I'm imagining. All right. And then this gives us context for where the feet would be. This foot would probably be a bit higher if I'm being picky. Cool. Honestly, I'm waiting for Nomad Sculpt to drop on P. Oh, dude. Then I want to go crazy making long form vids with it. Yeah. Oh, I can't wait for that. Is there any word on some release dates on that one that you can say publicly? Anton, love your art and work. Thank you so much. I wish you had more YouTube videos. The last was a year ago. Don't remind me. They're coming. I promise you, they're coming, Anton. This year is the year of YouTube. I'm also dealing with health stuff at the moment. Almost out of the woods with that. Part of the reason. Sorry to hear it, Shane, man. That sucks. No, glad that you're almost out of the woods. The Nomad Dev says any day. That's helpful. Oh. Any day could be any day in 2026. Any day could be tomorrow. But nah, the dev set cost will be around 40. Yeah, there, which is very reasonable. We must know if Frank gets his expressions. The people demand emotions. Well, he said weeks, not months. Oh, that's good. That's exciting. Because, yeah, I do enjoy how Nomad works. Yeah, I don't know if Frank might not make the cut for the next few videos that are coming out, only because it takes that extra bit of time to do it. And I want to get, when I'm going with the YouTube stuff, I'm going with the YouTube stuff. So I just want to go boom, 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 boom. And he might make some cameos. You never know. We were left on a year-long cliffhanger. Oh, no. Oh, man. Ay. It's funny. Like, I decide... What the... Okay. Well, we're back. It's funny. For whatever reason, I decided right after I launched my first course, people seemed to love it. Content was going swimmingly. I decided I want to take a sharp right turn and create a physical sculpt product from scratch, which took me on like a 1.5 year long detour, which was kind of silly. I think he's trying to find a platform to distribute on. Yeah. No, that makes sense. And yeah. Where would you do that? We just get a video of Ben making a character sheet of Frank with expressions and such. Yeah. You never know. You never know. He's thinking Steam, but they have weird rules for software. Yeah, weird. Is there any reason why he couldn't roll his own? I guess the whole... Yeah, the access and that sort of stuff could be tricky if he hasn't rolled it his own authentication system of who's purchased, who hasn't, that kind of thing, which is what I guess you would kind of get for free with Steam. Potentially, I don't know. How do you use shape language for the features? So, like, honestly, all this stuff is the same, but on a smaller scale. He's looking for a low maintenance. That's why he loves Apple Store so much. Yeah, that's it. So he's looking for like the platform that'll handle all the stuff that really no one wants to handle. Because I reckon that's going to go nuts. Like Nomad on desktop. Oof. What'd be great is if it was a Mac app as well. That'd be lovely. Because I think from what I understand, it's using... Actually, I don't understand. I don't know. But maybe it's using the same... like thing, whatever that is, on the iPad as it is as on desktop. Who knows? Who knows? Yeah, I'm actually thinking about redoing my whole course in Nomad. It's not a bad idea, dude. A lot more accessible for a lot more people. I think it will be Mac. Oh, sick. Okay. That'll be awesome. So yeah, when it comes to the features and stuff, just like the larger shapes here, like very straight, you know, wonky sort of shapes. Same thing here. You could get all detailed with the nose and stuff like that and get really like finicky with just getting it just so, but it kind of messes with the style a little bit. Whereas before, boom, very, very simple, just straight there. You know, simplicity. And then you can decide. You can decide if you want it more detailed or what. It's completely up to you. And the eyebrows here are going to be the determiner of what his kind of expression is. Like, is he concerned? Is he annoyed? You know, if he was like this, he's kind of like, what do you want? Someone walks up to him, you know, what the hell do you want? Or he's just like concerned about something that's going on in his life and he's just contemplating what's happening. You know, the eyebrows are huge for expressions. That, he looks like he's looking at himself on a Jumbotron. That's very specific, but I get that. 100%. Yeah, good call. And he's like being all cool and he's like, oh yeah. And then he'll crack a smile when he realizes it. Then you got people behind him that are trying to like do stuff. Blah, 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 blah. Good call. I like that. You know what? I reckon we're going to warm down with some shape stuff today. some filthy plugin shape extravaganzas. We'll flip it around. So let's find something. I have a commission for you if you have time. I'm pretty swamped at the moment, sorry dude. But yeah, can talk after this if you want. Depending on the workload. But yeah, it'll be good to catch up anyway, man. Let's have a look. Let's just play around with this color. This image. It's just a hand. Maybe. But yeah, honestly, I'm like jam packed. If I'm honest. All good, man. I appreciate you thinking of me though. But yeah, no, regardless, let's catch up. It would be good to hear what's been going on. Plugins, filthy. Where are you? Here we are. Cool. All right. For those that want to join, the car makes me think of the beginning of My Neighborhood, My Neighbor Totoro. Yeah, it does. It does. I would hesitate, I guess, to say that this is in Japan, just from the vibes. But the goal here, I want to get some depth, right? Using color only and shapes, no lines, to get some of this, what's the word? Atmospheric perspective, that's the one. Okay. So let's give ourselves no doubt the trucks looks like the kind you see in Japan. Yeah, 100%. Let's start ourselves off. Whoa, hold on. Hold the phone. Okay. Let's do like a neutral background. And let's just, if you guys want to join along, I'll give you a moment. This reference was here in environment design. I'm pretty sure this is public. Have you noticed that the moderation on Pinterest has gone down, or is it the moderation? I couldn't tell you. I've got no idea. I just look at images and pick the ones that I want. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to start back to front. We're going to squint our eyes. All right. And we'll begin in 3, 2, 1. Squiggle town. Let's go. Throwing some squiggles in. So we're gonna squint. Keep squinting. It's not going to look like much of anything to begin with, which is completely cool. So I highly recommend as well with this kind of stuff, looking at real life scenarios. I had, as soon as I said that, I had Dory's little voice in the back of my head. Is to see if you can observe things in real life like this. Like, start asking why in real life. Why does this look this way? Like, we've got hills here, and sometimes in certain lighting scenarios, the hills look purple. Sometimes they look more browny, greeny. Sometimes they look, I don't know, more blue. You know, why? Why is this happening? Start asking these questions, then your brain starts looking for the answers. And then you can incorporate what you've found, answers-wise, into your paintings, drawings, ideas, whatever, you know. We'll come back and we'll refine these shapes. I'm just trying to work back to front. So you got this big shape here. Too stark of a contrast. Yeah, do enjoy a good teal. Okay, again, squinting our eyes down. It's just a good exercise for observation as well. Ang LC, thanks for popping in. It's the Filthy plugin. Links in the description. But you can do it manually as well with Photoshop. You don't need this, but we built this plugin purely for this ease of use. Big win for those who need glasses. We just have to take them off. I know. You lucky things. You got built-in value checkers. Mind you, I'm starting to develop my own built-in value checkers, if I'm honest. Never needed glasses, but I've started to realize, like, I got a pair of my dad's old glasses. Like, they're just like a magnifying with a slight something with them, and they're like a lot clearer than normal viewing. I'm like, oh no, it's happening. All right, that's fine. We can finagle with that forever. I would like to knock in some of this. Now we start to work through the foreground. So what are we seeing here? We need to abstract it away. I'm just seeing this. Get it out of here. All the details. We don't need them. is that I can't see words from far. I know. I've always had fantastic eyesight. But it's very odd to be like, oh shit, I can't really. Like I can, but it's just like clearer if I have glasses. I'm like, oh no, this is weird. All right, so even if we look at this how it is at the moment, we can kind of read what's going on. Not perfect, but it's like enough to get the idea, right? Because I can see that there's like more yellows. And this is very pastel-y. And I guess while I'm doing this as well, we'll do the cheeky little plugs. So if you like what you've seen on this stream or other streams or on my other videos and that kind of stuff, I've got an 8-hour 10-chapter walkthrough tutorial available right now. It comes with a 40-page PDF field guide. It comes with 3D models. The link's in the description. If you like the Filthy plugin that I'm using right now, check it out. Link's in the description for Photoshop. Keep an eye out for courses and new videos coming very soon. A new course platform if you're a creator. Love to get your thoughts on it when it arrives. I will be doing streams creating some of the course content live, which will be good. I think this here could be a little darker. And then this one, because we've adjusted that, bring that up a little bit. It's subtle. It's super subtle, right? And then in here, we could... See, I haven't even touched the bloody car. The car, I don't even know. I don't need to do anything with the car right now. Doesn't even matter right now. The car has no business being in there until we get this sorted. King C Dog 1, I'm surprised you don't have more Twitch viewers. Twitch has such a great art section. Thank you so much. I've only just started to go on Twitch, so yeah. I appreciate you, King. Let me ban him. This is looking very plain. It's going... Oh, I get... Oh, fuck. It's thumb guns. Of course it's a pun. The planes... You could... I see this as like rice paddy fields. So it's like, this is looking very paddy. But that doesn't make sense. So I can see why you didn't go with that one. Nice try, thumb guns. I'll give it a 4.2. What platform? Yes, I'm so almost done building a like a course platform, Shane, which I'll show you when we catch up. Akuma 13, how you doing? Ignore him. It looks pretty rough. Ashlyn 7.6, very good. Alfie, will you be doing like Proco on your platform and offering things from other creators and artists? The way that I'm doing it is that anyone can do their own Proco thing. like the Proco-esque, not even Proco, but just like any, like their own thing. So you can then host whoever you want. You can put up whatever you want, basically. If it's all your stuff, if it's any like people that you're collaborating with stuff. Yeah, so my personal thing, like what we call at the moment is like my platform, which will be Ben Eblin Studios. I might have other artists come on and do some stuff with me to sort of cross promote that way. But yeah, the way that it's set up is you'll be able to kind of do whatever you want, whether it's just you or yeah, put up whatever content that you like. But what we're really focusing on is like content first, where it's like a really nice workflow of creating the content, like a Notion-esque kind of simplicity of like putting stuff out there, all different types of like creation. So it's not just like a video and text. It can be like a video, text, another embedded video, another link to a specific lesson, like a quiz within that kind of thing. Like quizzes aren't going to be coming just yet, but it's on the roadmap. But it's that kind of stuff, and the feedback loop of being able to share links of lessons to a select group of people or everyone to say, hey, give me feedback. You've then got like a whole list of feedback that you can either use to both increase the value of the course or the lesson or the particular piece of content itself, and also learn what makes sense to your users or your viewers, your students, what doesn't make sense, and have it all there in line of the specific things that they like, what they don't like. So then you can also use that as social content. Because if you've got like a thing that keeps coming up, like this is amazing, this is the one thing that made this thing click for me, then you know that's a potentially nice little piece of content. So yeah, that's what I'm really yes, Ben and his OnlyFans article. Oh man, I mean, if the price is right, you never know. No, I know, no. I'm talking art. But I wonder how many people do that. Like, they go under a pseudonym and then they draw furries for like tens of thousands of dollars. Okay, oh, what? Yeah, no, I didn't mean me. Like, look, I'll draw. The price is right. I'll draw some stuff. Maybe not. Who knows? Very dependent on what you ask me to draw. You need a pseudonym for that? Maybe. Ben being like Markiplier with dropping a random OnlyFans account. Imagine. Secretly raise his hand. It pays well for the first. Yeah, look. I couldn't care less. Really. If you're paying artists to draw that stuff, more power to you. All right, look, we've been playing around with this bush here for a long time. And I just realised how the context of this stream is going downhill. We need to give it a 180 back into family friendly mode. The shrubbery that we've been working on right now, it's enough. Let's get the car in there. Let's get some context of the focal point. Now found a working a part-time enrolled job that give me perma free morning, like 8+ hours. Now I can draw normal stuff. Nice one, Akuma. Definitely within your comfort levels though. I've been asked to do some things that I've straight up said no to. Fair. Yeah, definitely within your comfort levels. Yeah. Because I can imagine there's some fucking weird shit that people will ask you to draw. Or make. Or whatever. So yeah, this has got to be within reason. Let's go family friendly mode. Proceeds to talk about bullshit. Yeah, that's right. Oh my God. Oh shit. That is a bland looking blue. Let's fix that. What on earth? Okay, here. Boom, boom. Weird shit don't bother me. What bothered me is how suck commission systems are. Like something I would fully almost finish the sketch in detail and they want to cancel or redo the whole thing or ask impossible pose or worse colors that don't match. Well, that's the issue, right? It depends on the contacts that you have on how, if you have a deposit up front, can mitigate a lot of that stuff, I guess. I don't know your situation or what you've done in the past with it. Yeah, exactly. Half up front, half afterwards. And just be very specific about the scope of things. Because then that just like makes it super clear up front. It's like, all right, I'm delivering this around, like this is the scope, this is what I'm doing. Half up front, blah, 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 blah. And then worst case, then you get the half if they become a nightmare, you know? And you've already put the work in. And they want to cancel or redo the whole thing, or yeah. And you just be like, any subsequent work on this will come at a rate of blah, 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 blah. Do you agree? Also, this is not legal advice. I'm just talking out my ass here. But that's how I would handle it and how I've done freelance stuff. Not in the commissions. I don't even know if I've done a commission before. But it was for a friend. So that went a lot smoother because we knew each other and it was, yeah, fine. I was asked to draw something that wasn't specifically not safe for work, but was obviously odd. I told them no, and they betrayed me for being a hack artist. There are weird people out there. What a fucking idiot. It's like, all right, well, you're an absolute... Okay, calm down. Calm down. You're a silly person for asking me in the first place if you're such a hack artist. Like, sometimes people, I tell you what. Not a fan of some people. Then you got to think like, what are they going through in their life to then do that stuff? So I kind of have empathy at the same time, but also fuck them. Yeah, I had to center myself before responding to breathe in, breathe out. You know what? That's like a good use of like ChatGPT. It's like, this is what they just sent me. I'm about to burn some bridges right now. Help me not. And then you send whatever that says. That's like a fantastic use case. Christian Nee is in the building, everyone. Claps for Christian. Oh yeah, that's common. People have told me my prices are too high and that they can get it done cheaper by someone else. Except, yeah, well then do like just bad clients who think. But this is the interesting thing, right? The higher ticket, this was particularly true in the software space, with like my experience in my like early 20s and like doing freelance stuff. As I started to gain more experience, I charged high prices per hour and that kind of thing. I think per hour isn't the right thing to charge by personally, but that's what I was doing. The higher the price, the better the client, in a way. Like, I don't know, I just found that there was like a correlation between that. There were less hiccups, there were less just less fuckery. When it was like, cool, it's this much for this thing, boom, it's quite a high price, go and do it, fantastic, bada bing, bada boom, it's all done. I still regret my time doing commissions on Amino for that was essentially fake money. To be fair, I was a dumb 17-year-old. Commissions on Amino. Yeah, right. Yeah, I got no idea what Amino is. Artistic, is doing requests if you're a less experienced artist a good way to start off? I think so. I mean, you got to start somewhere. Like, it depends what you want to do, though. That's the thing. If like, but yeah, you just get like a lower quality of, not person, but just like experience potentially, and just go into it knowing that if you are going to be charging like lower prices because you aren't as experienced or whatever. Shane, that is 100% true with students and my courses as well. My mentees are the best. My $20 course students are the worst, and they pirate the shit out of it. That's the same with software as well. The lower tiered like price points, those customers are a lot. Yeah, it's weird. It's a weird one, man. Like, it's really the lower tier like the lower tiered price customers are the ones that complain all the fucking time about the stuff that isn't, just out of experience. And even the free, like we had a free version of our app that we were working on, and it was just like, yeah, very frustrating. Mishat, appreciate you, my friend. Thanks for popping in. Because you're just attracting people who follow to get free art. True, exactly. Go to, like, you can try and go, like, if you can, try and go to where your ideal customers are. Yep, biggest complainers, refunders, and all around high maintenance. That's the word, high maintenance. Yeah, that's very true in the software world, the course world, the freelance world. But also, you got to start somewhere. So I wouldn't let that deter you from starting, but just go in knowing if you are going to be going that route, that is to be expected, you know? And there's ways to mitigate against that kind of fuckery. I think it's better the cheaper it is, the more of an audience you get. A higher sample size means more jerks as well. Kind of ish. I wouldn't say it's better the cheaper it is, but to start with, potentially yes. Just purely from experience and from other people's anecdotes that I've learned through business and even what Shane's saying now. I don't deal with high maintenance clients. Yeah. But it's just like, it's not good for either party. You're miserable. They're miserable. Might as well just not do it in the first place. Sketchy. I feel like when you pay a lot for something, also sketchy. Give me uno momento, por favor. One of your YouTube videos popped up on my recommended, and I really enjoyed it. I can't remember what one, if I'm honest, but good shit. Everyone go check out Sketchy Squirrel's YouTube channel. Very cool. Yeah. I think it was, it might have been the grease pencil. Yeah, it was this one. Very cool. There you go. The algorithm's doing its job. Yeah, I feel like when you pay a lot for something, that product automatically has a better place of value in your mind. So paradoxically, you end up being more grateful. Yeah, there's that as well. Definitely. But this is why I don't understand. Like, I don't think I'll ever do. I can't see myself doing a Patreon because I've seen too many people bust their ass trying to keep up month to month, putting stuff out to people that kind of are at the lower, like $5 a month or something. But that, like, for some people it works great, but that's a volume game, right? You've got to make it worthwhile, you've got to have a lot of people. You've got to have at least, let's say, 1,000 people on your Patreon at $5 a month to make it, to start it entertaining it being something that's like a viable thing, depending on where you live and all that kind of stuff. But it's just that that model never made sense to me, and it's a tricky one. Unless you have something where the people that can't afford now, I want to make this very clear that it's not just like charging more for the sake of charging more. You've got to bring the value, because you'll find out very quickly if you're charging more for something and then it's a shithouse product. But there's not going to be many people coming back to pay for that thing. So you've got to bring the heat when it comes to the quality that you give. And I'm just talking purely like educational stuff, right? I have to remind myself that you are using Photoshop every time I see you freely swap between polygon and free draw selection tool halfway through the line. Clip Studio can't do that. Oh, interesting. Clip Studio, come on. Ben, the solution for that is doing private streams. Yeah, it is. I've got some ideas around that. With Patreon, you have to deal with churn. Same with SaaS software companies. Like we deal with that with our app. It's the same deal. Churn fucking sucks. BS, how do you stop structure working against gesture? Build up from gesture. And then iterate and iterate and iterate. And if you're not used to doing like the structure over gesture, make sure that you save the gesture underneath if you're doing layers, so that you can go back and see them side by side. And then if you need to, add a bit more gesture back into the structure over top, and then rinse and repeat. High level answer. It's a high level question, but hopefully that makes sense. Yep, members only streams for lower tiers and such. Yeah, potentially. Yeah, Monster Hunter Wild. Like if I was in content brain right now, I would be doing some Monster Hunter Wilds stuff. You best believe that's what I'll be doing. Patreon is something I don't think I could do because I don't know what I would offer. I don't think it's fair because I don't pay for any Patreon, nor would I want to charge people for exclusive content. Well, that's why it's got to make sense that you're giving value. I think it would become clear and you'd be more okay with it if you could really see what value you're going to give to people, you know? And that value can come from the problems that you've solved yourself. I just link an unlisted YouTube stream to my Patreon. Oh, interesting. People can't find it on YouTube unless they have it. Yeah. You can do it that way. I do weekly coaching calls for my mentor students. That works out great. Been doing it for almost 2 years. Yeah. When you talk to me about that, it's potentially something I'm thinking about doing as well. Crystal, really love your work and have learnt so much from your videos. Thank you. So glad to hear it, Crystal. Thanks so much. Thanks for popping in. Sorry, too big of a question, but thank you for helping. No stress. Sorry, it couldn't be more of a targeted response. Vivid, one strategy for Patreon content is to spend a month working on nothing but that to queue it up for the next 3 months. It isn't easy though, but that's the thing. But then life happens, right? And then something knocks you out for 2 months. And then you've only got a month left, like a month buffer, and then something else happens later, and then you've only got a month buffer, and then at what point do you then catch up that buffer? So then you've got the 3 month buffer. It just sounds like an absolute fucking nightmare. Life finds a way, doesn't it? Does it? Speaking of, we could legit do some dinosaurs in the background. I was just thinking of that when you said it. But yeah, that's put it this way. Anything that I put out, I'm going to be putting my fucking 100,000% into it. You best believe it's going to be quality. Back to the truck. I got to draw some more dinosaur stuff. I've missed drawing some dinosaurs. All right, so I want to show a little bit of this difference in the plains, the paddy fields. Interesting, sketchy. I didn't know that. Maybe I'm wrong, but I think some people set up their Patreon so that the people who sign up only pay when you post something, so they can go without posting for months without worry. Fascinating. Interesting. Draw some of the dinosaurs from the new movie that's coming out. There's a new movie coming out? See, this is the thing. I've been in just this little office cave. I had no idea. Is it a Chris Pratt one again? Whoa, 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 whoa. All right, putting the little bits and bobs on the truck. Strategically though, we're not just drawing lines for the sake of drawing lines. We are putting them down, laying them down with purpose. What's this? Probably the weirdest excuse to go to Dinosaur Island. I'm still watching it though. What was it? Yeah, I've got no context on why. Like what? What's the premise? Mind you, if you can't be bothered typing it, I don't blame you. Oh, scroll up. What? I'm just seeing Patreon conversations. That's all right. I'll do my own research. It's not. No, I don't see it on my end. I don't know if you check the stream. I'm not seeing anything. Because you said draw some of the dinosaurs from the new movie that's coming out. And life finds a way. That's all I got. That's all right. No stress. Did you use a banned word? I haven't banned any words, but I don't know. I guess YouTube would, wouldn't they? No websites. Interesting. Yeah, YouTube bans words, yeah. Jurassic World Rebirth with Scarlett Johansson. They're going to a new... Oh, you know what? I've seen like maybe a thumbnail of something like that. They're going to a new island with dinosaurs on it for some medicine that you can only get from dinosaur blood. Okay. No more Chris Pratt. He has been everywhere. There we go. The word crazy was banned. You're kidding me. Someone try and write crazy in there. You're shitting me. Some of the words make sense and others are nonsense. That's fucking stupid. I'm surprised that they don't censor my words automatically. I wouldn't put it past them either. Well, it wasn't, yeah. Interesting. Could be a regional thing. Interesting. How stupid. Give it time, but I know, imagine. Like, I've got my self-censor. So I'm like, that bullshit that YouTube they, or like, they sense. Are you kidding me? Oh fuck your that rubs me up the wrong way. I'm like, you censored everything but bullshit. That's yeah. See, that's why I can't be in control of this censoring, because I'm just like, oh fuck, damn, like it's it doesn't work. It's not good. But yeah, in a couple of years, I wouldn't doubt that's what's going to happen. They're going to start censoring, and at that point, I've got to get this stream large enough so that they don't mess with it too much. Darmix, what's going on? Great to have you. It's funny when every word besides a swear word going on. So yeah, back to the drawing. We got something looking kind of okay. Needs a little bit more contrast, I think, in the background specifically, but I quite like the atmospheric perspectiveness of it. Pretty cool. Like you're sending Morse code. Was that a pun attempt? Do I rate that one? Or was that a typo, Ryan? I don't want to prematurely give you a pun rating. Cool. Starting some like some different lime green texture. Don't know what you're talking about. Okay, fair enough. Fair. It was because you said like you're sending Morse code, but it's Morse code, and I don't know if you like if it was an attempt because like we're drawing. It's a bit of a stretch because we're drawing foliage. Morse could be foliage. I don't know. That's why I would have been like, that's a 2.0 pun. But it wasn't intentional. You're all good. How do you train your hand to make shapes, good shapes that quickly? I don't even know if they're like good shapes necessarily. I think about what I want to put down a lot before I do. Like when I'm by myself, a lot of the time I'll sit and I'll think and then I'll do. Because there was a bad habit I did get into like a while ago when I was learning a lot of this stylized stuff, that I would just like scribble even though I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't understand the problem I was trying to fix. So like I would just go and go and go and go and go and feel like that the reps that I'm putting down on the page are adding to it because it feels like I'm doing something, right? Sometimes it's best just to actually think, okay, what do I need? What's the issue here? How can I? And in doing that, you get faster at that. So when you do, the speed will come, but when you start adding some speed, you know that like the point that you make the decision of what you're going to do and doing it speeds up. You know what I mean? And it's all contextual as well, because I'm not too concerned about getting this 100% accurate, and I'm more sort of exploring shapes and colors and stuff versus getting anything super tight. that helps a lot as well. Leave the pun alone. I'll give that a 4.2. 4.2. It is noodling, but noodling with intent, like making ramen. Very nice. That was a good one. 7 point. Well, that wasn't a pun though. That was just a funny comment. So yeah, just good. Well done. All right, we might need to wrap this up soon, guys. With that being said, I've already done the plugs. So we can just cruise off into the end of the stream momentarily. I kind of want to do it just a little bit more on this shrubbery. Christian Rees, I think especially in landscape drawing and painting, you want your shapes and arrangements to be entropic, which means they have an asymmetry and randomness to them that mimics how nature behaves. Like you want to avoid symmetry, evenness, and order. That's a very good point. And I kind of want to do that with the more mechanical stuff as well, at least in this context. That's a good call. Now all these, like if we wanted to make this feel a little bit more structured, let's not do that. I'm starting to take note of these separate kind of mounds of shrubbery. So at its simplest, it's just like spheres of shrubs. Ryan, we always enjoy your stream during my especially long Monday breakfast. Fantastic. Glad to hear it, Ryan. I was more fascinated by how you chose to make one side of the shapes busy while the other side simple and easy to read. Honestly, that just came kind of naturally with the reference. I didn't really think about that too much, if that makes sense. You chose to make one side of the shape busy while making the individual shapes. Yeah, that's kind of like that. I don't know what that like rule is. I can't remember, but it's like in figure stuff. There's like a simpler side. Like here's the simpler side, and here's all the more complex stuff. It gives that balance. That's also just practice as well. The bushes look like they have a subtle rim light to them. That's coming up momentarily, my friend. Don't you think I'd miss a nice little rim light opportunity? So that's going to be very, very subtle. Like we don't want to just like blast it out like someone's got some crazy spotlight in the background. So you want to be subtle. And eventually I'd love to do this with like gouache or oils live as well. That'll be good fun. And even there, all right, we've got something going on here. We're kind of like pulling out some of the stuff, the shapes. And what we can do is cut back in, right, to give it even more of a natural appearance and less manufactured, I guess. or less. It could be construed, like misconstrued as a little bit too simple. So we can come and cut back in some of these shapes, which is really fun to do. Particularly if you've already got like this base. When you cut back in, it kind of keeps, you've done a lot of the hard work already. So then you can do a little bit of this. I see this in particular with like really blue skies, and you see it through like a big tree. You'll see just like a little, just like dabs of the blue sky coming through the trees. I think the simple complex sides also comes into the idea of entropic shape design. Usually in nature, things will have a simple side and a more complex side. Ooh, entropic, very nice. I've not heard of that phrase before. Foolish shit. I want a studio space, but I move too much for it. Yeah. Yeah, the moving is a bit of a hassle. And what we can do to give this just a little bit more je ne sais quoi is we can maybe come here to the color, and you'll notice subtly in all this green, it's not all just like straight up green, you know? It's a little bit of this. Whoa, hold on. Hold the phone. No pixels are selected. Okay, here we go. So now this, we're going to do the color. No, we're going to do color layer mode. We can get our fill back. All right, a bit too much, if I'm honest, but we can come through and make these kind of indicators of just like different types of trees, different levels of aliveness. Whoa. Then we can knock it back. Right, just gives it like a ever so slightest bit of variety. Right? Yeah, anyway. With that, oh, there's power lines in the background. I see them, I've spotted them. I can't not put them in. Way too thick and busy. It's going to be tricky to do it on a small scale. There you go. And then knock that right back value-wise. You can see we could push this background a lot more, and even this one, this group of trees. And this could even go more on the blue, like if we were really looking to get this guy feeling a lot more, I don't know, a lot closer to the reference. It's a lot bluer. It's got more stuff. Contrast is that stuff. We can pop out some of this sky from these trees as well in the background. Cool. Well, look, that was a fun little warm down. Isham, what's going on? Give it a little bit of, I don't know. Yeah, it's true. That's just me rendering art in general. Oh, God. Yeah, it's hard. It is tricky to sometimes talk through the thing that you're doing because you're trying to do the thing that you're doing. You know? That blue also makes it look like it belongs with the blue truck, sort of color harmony. Yeah, true. Also, atmosphere, there might be a bluer sky further up. It does look a little bit hazy, so that might not be correct. But yeah, no, I agree. Good call. How is the art scene in your city? I'm in Melbourne, and fellow Aussie. I'm in Melbourne, and there is a bit going on for drawing, like different life drawing sessions, but I find most Aussies don't really like to really push themselves within the disciplines of art and drawing, not like the Americans. They do not, from my experience. I mean, I'm in Adelaide, right? So there's sweet fuck all when it comes to that stuff. There is one. CDW is in Adelaide, which is cool. Those guys are fantastic. But it is definitely another level in America. That's why I want to spend a good amount of time there, consistently, because it's kind of like a competition over there. It's funny, like in good and bad ways as well. But it is really like I don't know, just being around people that are just like grinding is cool. But you think about our population as well, comparatively, it's like night and day. Did I say Christina? I read that as Christina. Christian. My apologies, Christian. I live in a part of America where art is kind of dead. That's why I love taking trips to Pasadena and Lightbox to be with my people. Yeah. Vivid. I cannot wait to get back there this year. Hey, as an American, you got to be in the right parts of America. The art scene isn't all over the place, unfortunately. That's fair. That's fair. I mean, there could be cool spots in Sydney, you know, that I haven't been to. Or it's just... But mind you, I don't go anywhere. I haven't been anywhere around Australia looking for that since I've started to do this as like a full-time gig. So I can't say that there isn't personally, because I haven't been looking for that. I've just been in this room doing my own thing for most of it. But I will mention that, yeah, America, like going to America and Lightbox is like the mecca of just like inspiration overload. But anyway, guys, I reckon with that said, we might call it a day. So rocky start. I'll tell you what, it was a rocky start, and you guys didn't see the rockiest of all the rocky starts, but it was a rocky start. We just jumped straight into it. Did a little figure study of this dude. I quite like this one. This could be one I take a little bit further. We'll see. You never know. And then cruising on down to a good old little landscape with a truck, but in particular focusing on the illusion of atmospheric perspective, pushing those things in the background, just using values. So yeah, cool. Overall, not bad. That's nice. Awesome stream. Thank you, Sketchy, for popping in. I'm not currently living in a major city, so I haven't been near a major art scene for quite a few years now, unfortunately. I cannot wait to get back to Pasadena. Catch you later, Ashlyn. Vivid, hopefully so. I'll hopefully catch you at Lightbox. Catch you later, Foolish. Thanks for popping in. Catch you later, Shane. Will do. Thanks for popping in. Artistic. Catch you later, legend. Ishan, thanks for popping in. Too bad I missed the stream. That's all right. It's recorded. Have a great day, dude. Super. Have a good one, man. And for those on Twitch, Instagram, thank you very much. Appreciate you popping in. Everyone else on YouTube, the lurkers, the ones that aren't in chat, appreciate you. It's an absolute pleasure, as always, to come here every Monday, 10:45 a.m. Australian Central Daylight Time, 4:30 p.m. Whatever the American time zone is, PST, PDT, which is a Sunday. Monday Australia, Sunday America. And yeah, it's an absolute pleasure, a privilege to be able to do some scribbles and talk some shit with you guys. All right? I'll catch you in the next one. Ta-ta for now.